What's up, guys? This is Jay from COI. So, while scientists and doctors have been racking their brain trying to figure out how to contain and fix COVID-19 and potentially treat it and set up a vaccine, the evangelical Christians have figured out the answer already. So we can all stop worrying about it. They got it all figured out. They all have to get together and decide which exactly is the right path to go down. The Westboro Baptist Church, which was just in my town today, in fact, was protesting that it's transgenders who are causing the COVID virus. Interesting. I didn't know they were able to do that, but they're not the only one. Irving Baxter, he appeared on the show End of the Age. It's an end times kind of show. I don't know. They're all end times people. But anyway, Irving Baxter claims that the reason why COVID is running rampant and killing all of us is because there are 95% of new brides are not virgins. Too many people are fornicating and they're not married. So that's the problem, guys. It has nothing to do with you know a lab created virus or a virus jumping from animal to human or none of that stuff. It's the fact that people are fucking and they're not married. That's it. We got it figured out. But then there's other people. The pastor in Louisiana, of course, he goes back to the old one that we all know and love. The gays. The gays are the problem. And despite all of that, I'm still going to end up talking about Rodney Howard-Browne, who got arrested today. As predicted, the coronavirus has caused authoritarianism and fascism to rise up, and the justice system in America, ran by them liberals, is just out to get Christianity. As they arrested Howard-Browne because he was still holding church. In fact, he held 2 sermons on Sunday at his giant mega church when instructed multiple times not to. But here's where I'm saying this is the fascist left going after this poor guy. Howard-Browne had technology that we've never seen before. I don't know where he got it. Maybe Jesus made it for him. But as he explained, he has these machines that are in the ducts, and as soon as you come in, it shoots air or whatever at you. It didn't really even say what. It shoots stuff at you at 100 miles an hour and kills every virus that you have on you. All bacteria is gone. You might want to ask the scientists about the fact that we need bacteria on us to live, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the authoritarian left, those fascist COVID deranged police people coming after our poor Christian leader who doesn't follow the rules. As you can tell, I'm being cynical, and I'm fine with the guy, by the way, being arrested. He should follow some fucking rules. It's not that hard. And it makes you wonder, though, as you look into the Bible and you follow some of their own belief, to say love thy neighbor. Loving thy neighbor would not be subjecting them to a deadly virus, right? That seems kind of crazy. And maybe that is part of the whole thing with Howard-Browne, though, is he just can't follow the rules. No rules. But I suspect it has to do with the fact that tithing is up when people attend in person, often to the tune of 30 to 50%. And Howard-Browne, as we all know, Jesus needs that money. Jesus is screwed if you don't buy these mega church pastors' private jets and their own, estate that they can live on. It's how it works. Well, without that, if you don't do your tithing, you're gonna die of cancer, COVID, or whatever. And maybe that was part of the plan too. Give him a bunch of COVID, then they could donate to him, so he could call Jesus on the special phone and Jesus would cure them of COVID. I don't know, either way, doesn't really add up to me, but it's fine. Anyway, Howard-Browne says he's going to continue to hold sermons, and the deputy in Tampa said we're going to continue arresting him. But he is really not the only one. There are 4 or 5 other major mega church televangelist evangelical leaders who are saying that they're going to do the same thing. Jonathan Schowhalter, I think that's his name. I don't know his last name. Anyway, he said he's going to have some major blowout on Easter. He's going to do it outdoors, but don't worry, we won't be practicing social distancing because this is all about God and coming together. Um, it's funny the way people are reacting with this. It's like common sense just doesn't exist anymore. And I might add that most of these people who are evangelical, right wing Christian fanatics tend to listen to Trump. Guys, Trump came out and said at least 100,000 people are going to die. That if we stay at that level, we're good. He even admitted it could be up to 240,000. Well, that's just a bad strain of the flu. Yeah, no, it's not. Look at the numbers. Look at the facts. I know it hurts. This is it's all overblown. Yeah, I remember last year when that bad strain of flu went around and we ran out of ventilators and people were suffocating. Yeah, I remember. Oh, wait, no, that didn't happen. Because this is something different. It pains me how, as humans, the reason we're here is not divinity, it's evolution and our ability to adapt. But it seems like when faced with challenges, like just having to accept staying in your fucking house and staying 6 feet away from someone, people cannot adapt. Which I guess falls into the line of Darwinism. I guess I'm not completely surprised, considering the people who are fighting against this the most are people who would have been victim of Darwinism. So, I want to briefly talk about AOC. And Ocasio-Cortez has had a Politico article come up recently saying that she's moving further to the right. I don't know how true that is. I mean, look, no, there's facts backing that. Don't get me wrong. AOC has definitely been working more with Nancy Pelosi, been more center, and I understand that she is, and the people like Kyle Kalinske and Jimmy Dore and Cenk Uygur and all those people who are calling her out on that, I get it, and they should keep calling her out of it on it. People on Twitter, her supporters, should keep calling her out on being more of a centrist. And it's something I'm not willing to admit that, hey, she gave up the fight or that she's turning right. A lot of the Justice Democrats have kind of been moving more in the Democratic Party. Now, I have to look at them as people, and I don't know about how many of you have ever worked at a corporation that you hated, but you felt like, well, once I get into management, then I can change things. And that might be something they're thinking about, all of them, and thinking, well, look, if I support primarying other Democrats in other races and they lose because I primaried the more progressive one and the Republican wins, then I can't work with either one, the centrist or the progressive. So I might as well make the safe choice. I get all of those things, and I'm not sure which way they're going. Like I said, if you ask me, it's too early to say. So much of this came after AOC bashed the stimulus package that came out. And then she went ahead and voted for it. But as I argued, she had a Sophie's choice to make, and I don't blame her. I blame Bernie more than I blame her. By the time it reached the House, AOC could do nothing to stop that bill. And let's be honest, Bernie had the best shot being in the Senate. He could have demanded that they split the bill up. He really did have the best chance. Yes, there's other Democrats who could have took that spot, but you can't be Bernie Sanders and let that go by you and not do it. If I don't know, Chuck Schumer would have done that, we would have been like, holy shit. But Bernie, we were like, ah, shit. We expect better. AOC, like I said, as that bill hit the House, there's nothing she could do. It was too late. But since that point, this narrative of her moving to the left, moving to the right has come out. She picks her battles different. Again, she's not primarying the progressives, or she's not supporting the more progressive primaries. And I would argue that, in a, I get it, but in a way, she's also a kind of another Sophie's choice. Like I said, if she supports the more progressive candidate over the centrist incumbent, what if they both lose? What if she does such a good job of making the progressive look good, but not good enough that the progressive actually wins the area and the Republican wins, and now she can't work with either one? It's an incredibly fair point to make, and I don't know which way it is, and I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to offend AOC. I'm just going to give the progressives just an opinion or a thought. I don't know how you want to look at it. But remember coming out of 2018, as a progressive, we had so much hope. It looked really, really good. Almost everyone that we supported won, and they won in major battles. There was a few. Brent Welder didn't win. James Thompson didn't win. Of course, Richard Ojeda didn't win. It was so goddamn close with Ojeda and Welder, by the way. And but we still had this. We still had all this hope. Like we're gonna do shit. 2020 comes, we are taking over. And I mind you, AOC and Ayanna Pressley and a lot of them are young. And their first experience to politics was that moment. I'm sure many of them have studied politics, been involved in politics, but actually ran in politics. It was that moment. It was that power. And then this giant boot to our gut came flying in by the centrist libs. The center Democrat proved that they would rather defeat us progressives than worry about Trump. And we did not see that coming. We thought, of course, they're going to give us pushback, but their real enemy is Trump. And so we're going to be able to leapfrog them and we're going to go against Trump. And they said, no, fuck you. We actually agree with this guy more than you. We're on his side. He's giving us tax cuts. He's doing the things our donors want. You want to destroy all that. We're going to badmouth you all over mainstream media. MSNBC, CNN, where a lot of your supporters, I should say, where you're going to need a lot of supporters from, we're going to make you look like communists. We're going to always, when we get the opportunity, we're going to call you Nazis and socialists, even though that's not completely correct. Doesn't matter. We're going to bash you. We're going to make allegations that you're a sexist. The wind out of the progressives just went flying out in the last 2 months. And so when you see AOC making certain moves, it could be her licking her wounds. It could be her trying to come back into, okay, that didn't work. Let's try to figure out a new strategy. And she could always be picking and moving. And yeah, if you're Jimmy Dore or Kyle Kalinske or Cenk Uygur, Crystal Ball, you have the right to judge her and to have a feeling about what she's doing and politically how she's responding to things. But I wouldn't judge her yet. I would wait a year. I honestly would wait a year. I know it's a long time, but that's not very long as far as the political system is concerned. We'll see which AOC actually comes out. Is it the rebel that we love, or is she now completely, drinking the blue Kool-Aid and is in bed with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer? I don't think so, but I don't know. It's too early to tell, but again, before you just jump off the AOC bandwagon and the Bernie bandwagon and you go on to, God, I'd have no fucking clue what, you know, just think about it. Because, again, your next option would be Josh Hawley, or arguable libertarian populist right. I like Josh Hawley, but that doesn't really flow very well if you were a straight up progressive. Anyway, just a thought on it. Again, I have no idea. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the fanatics going crazy over COVID and the AOC story, which I'm sure everyone hates AOC, so I won't even get to this part. But anyway, I thank you guys. You guys have a good evening. Stay safe.